Adele, how are you?
Good, how are you, Fasang?
I'm very good. So Adele here is not only a very good friend, she's my inspiration in movie making because I came to know I came to know her through a project that she did, and then I was just so impressed with the way she carries out her projects, the movies she makes, the images she collects, and ever since I've stayed connected. Maybe I've been bothering you ever since for things every now and then, but she has taught me a lot. I've learned a lot. So thank you for that, Adele.
Welcome. I think you learned a lot by yourself.
So Adele, before we jump into movie making and stuff,
Mhm.
tell a little about yourself. You came from China. You did your undergrad in advertising at Michigan State, and now you're working here. Uh, would you like to briefly go through your journey?
Yeah, sure. I'm from China, and I actually did my undergraduate in Macau, and I came to MSU for my master's degree, but they're all in advertising. And I
Oh, I
came,
didn't know that. I thought
yeah,
you had an undergrad. Oh, Macau is the place that they call the Vegas of the East, right?
yes, yeah.
And you studied there?
The
Maybe
like
you
the
made money on parallel, right?
biggest casino is actually next to my university, and you can always smell this, perfume from the casino.
Wow.
It's actually a wonderful city. I will recommend everybody to visit because it's also was owned by Portuguese before. So it
Okay.
has like Western culture, East culture, and casino, and very peaceful like life too. So I really like it's like very mixed culture city. So yeah, it's definitely not only casino.
I get it now where you get your habits of partying hard. So, Adele, you did advertising and you started working here.
Right, right, right.
Does advertising, is advertising degree the reason you're a movie maker, or was it your interest that funneled in?
I actually realized my interest in video production and filmmaking as a last semester of my advertising degree. And
Uh-huh.
then I asked my parents if I can change my major to filmmaking. And of course, as Asian parents, you're like, you're almost done. Why you do that? So I'm not sure if it's okay to start share a little bit about like how I get into this
Uh-huh.
interest. I mean, advertising is very useful in like, for example, promoting your own project, all these things. But I did self learn all the filmmaking, like the basic softwares online, and also try to use different cameras to get used to it by just practicing. Just start to take videos like that. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
very blessed because my current job was looking for someone who are interested in doing video, and they like support me with all the equipments, the basic ones at that time, and then give me some opportunity to go to some like boot camp, that kind of thing. So gradually through the last 7 years, actually, by doing it, interviewing professors on campus, and then doing my own projects, all these, I started to get like more comfortable at doing that, and to now sort of at like uh, okay level. I feel.
No, you're amazing. Seriously. Uh, for everybody listening, I will put the link of the video she made on me, as well as her website and all those social media platforms.
Thank you.
Do visit her links. You will find her work very inspiring. Especially the way you tell the stories is what really gets me. So you had this story about your grandmother, if I'm not wrong, and that just blew my mind away. Tell us a little about your grandmother and how you thought of making that video.
Yeah, sure. So I had this. So actually, it started with I feel I have the skill, and I want to use the skill in a way that can like bring more positive energy to the world. So actually, on my way back from China on the plane, um, my grandma is my inspiration because right after I leave China, she brought out like 20 pairs of her handmade shoes, and and she is like now 90 years old, and she is
Wow.
still making shoes for me every single day to express her longing to me. So it's like just a wonderful way how, Asian people don't usually use words to express their love, but use their deeds. So start from her story. I did a documentary and then use her story to collect more stories from all around the world. One is Fazan's story. That's amazing. I still my favorite. So you definitely check his video out. That was a long time ago. So and this is keep me going and also like practicing at the same time. I think from the very first video to the current video, you can probably see a difference of the cinematography, lighting, audio, all these, and you can see actual video production. To me, I think it's great to have a degree, but even you don't, it's definitely not something you need to be like sad about. You just go online. There are platforms like linda.com if you want to learn a more systematic way, or like just YouTube, Skillshare, like all these, and masterclass. Just learn the basics and start to do it, and then gradually you will see how you improve, and you're amazed by looking back at your first video and see how great you are now. Yeah.
That's true. It's a learning curve, although it's
Yeah.
more flatter in my case than most people. But you mentioned two very important points, and I would like to go through them. I was talking to one of my friends who is a very good public speaker, and he's working for public speaking skills in Pakistan. And he was talking about this lack of Asian people being able to express themselves in words. But now, when you mentioned the way your grandmother expresses her love, it's very interesting to know that it shouldn't, and it is not required for always to be words to be there,
Yeah.
right? We have a different way of expression, although there are sometimes some misunderstandings because of that, but it's beautiful as well in its own, the way we express our love in different ways, like your grandmother, for example.
Yeah,
So
it's
thank you
not
for
need to
highlighting
be,
that. I never
it's not
thought.
even to be fancy too. It
Yeah.
can be just, a note that people always write to you and encouraging you. But because it's always there, especially your family members, they express love to you constantly. So it's very easy you ignore them. So
And
it's actually
that's
cool.
what your project is all about, walking in love, different ways people express their love to their loved ones. So
Yeah.
finally, I understand you, Adele. Okay, coming back to the movie making, what I find personally inspiring about movies, and I would like to ask you if this is exactly the reason why you like movies, or there are more reasons in addition to this, is that words can only express as much. Pictures express more. So they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And a movie is made up of thousands of pictures, so just imagine how many words it expresses. And
Yeah.
that's the reason I was so attracted towards making these movies instead of just writing posts, because it gives you the facial expressions, the context, the body language, all of that combines into way more than what a simple writing expresses. So was this kind of your thought process too, thinking about movies?
I feel it's very similar. I just mentioned, it was already my last semester in advertising degree. But
Hmm.
the reason I'm so passionate about video at that time is because I went to this conference, and then in that conference, there's probably 1,500 students sitting there, and then they were showing us a video of an African woman trying to help her own village, like all the AIDS people in her village by herself. So that is probably like a 5 minutes long video, but that's the first time I realized, in this dark space and showing this video, the power of video production, bring the story from the other side of the world to in front of you so vividly that after the whole video, like everybody at the stadium start to pack this medical package for this lady. And
Wow.
it's just like to see how video have the power to, inspire people, encourage people immediately, to motivate them to do something positive. it's just like so strong. Like the passion just like hit me so strong at the moment. That's why I'm like, okay, this is my future career. I want to do it for like forever. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, and you have won uh, quite a few awards as well during this project. Tell us about some of the awards that you've won and competitions that you won.
Um, I so the goal of my project is basically to share the Walking Love project is basically to share the story and collect more story through the audience. So that's why I submitted to several film festivals like Capital City Film Festival in Lansing here, and then Silk Road Film Festival in Ireland, and uh, there's there's some like documentary film festival in China I submitted, got second awards. And there's one film festival I submitted in South America. I forgot the name now. I need to
So
double
many.
check.
That's what I'm
But
talking about. You've been to so many.
I'm so glad you bring up the film festival because it's such a great opportunity to talk and interact with audience and get more ideas and also show your work to a group of people who will for sure at that period of time pay full attention on your work. It's very special moment when you're like looking at people who actually in this busy world will sit down and pay full attention on your work. So it's a very good thing. I will highly recommend people if they're like doing work to submit to film festivals. Yeah, it's a good way to know more filmmakers in the industry too. So it's great.
When you're mentioning this, I'm comparing it in my head with the academic conferences.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of same, but people are not as interesting as you guys. So yeah, but it's similar. They're presenting their work. They're talking about the nitty gritties, and I can bear them for a couple of days, not more than that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can go to a film festival and stay for a week easily.
Yes, yes.
Cool, Adele. I mean, thank you again for talking to me. I'll not take much of your very precious time. You're battling with bugs right now, so
Yeah.
I'll
I,
leave it to that.
I don't know if it's okay. I mention a little bit like suggestions for
Oh
people
yeah,
who are
definitely, please.
so I know the basic like equipment stuff.
Mhm.
Everybody have iPhone now. It's very good quality. And if you want to go into like a more professional industry, there are more options. And you can learn software online easily. So I think it's like this is the thing I want to talk more about is how to, when you know the basic, how to get to train your taste to make it closer to the filmmaker
Oh
you
yeah, that's
want
what
to
I
be.
need too.
You know?
Please.
I I personally think like the thing helped me the most, like look back. First of all, if you live in New York and LA, of course there are a lot of like film shoot you can go volunteer. But even if you know someone who are good at video production or filmmaking around you, you just go ahead and like volunteer to do a great job, just moving lights for them, doing these things. The goal is you can see how they do things, the whole process, how they shoot certain scenes, how they use light, how they use audio. So, and then you can try to apply it to your own process gradually, and by practicing. That's how you can increase your skill. And second, I think one thing I really love to do is to watch tons of great films. Film can be shorts, can be feature length, but when you are watching them, pay attention to why this scene capture attention. Sorry, that's why I watch. Why why technology and why the scene like attract you? Why it's so wonderful? Talks the story so well. Is it because of lighting? Is it because of the how they frame it? Is it because of music, the audio? Like I like to take notes sometimes, but if you have good memories, not like me, you can just try to remember that. And I think that another thing, the third thing is uh, I find it's interesting because arts are sort of connected. Um, if you have opportunity to learn, like for example, drawing or like making music. These actually can for some reason help your video production too. For example, when I was taking the drawing lessons, I realized like when I start to pay more to draw, it's a slower process than take pictures. So you pay more attention on how the light work, how the light on people's face can change the mood. So this actually helped me a lot when I'm setting up lights for the next video taking thing. And then I think the last thing is, if sometimes good ideas come when you're like on the bus or like talking with people, so I always take a notebook with me and write down the ideas, and then you can go back and look at these ideas later, and maybe one of them will become like a very good topic or ideas for your next movie, and then in the end can maybe will be something great, you know. So and of course, it's all coming from practice. Video production is all coming from practice, like a lot of stuff. And I really think a lot of people think visual is important, but of course lighting is so important. Even you are making a documentaries, pay attention to how you light things, because you can make a documentary beautiful too. There's no excuse to say this is a documentary, so it should be ugly or anything. And also audio is so important too. It's something that a lot of people ignore. Audio can help your video like to tell a better story for sure. Yeah, but basically these are the things.
These were $1 million words, truly. No,
You're
thank
so
you.
kind.
No, seriously. Thank you so much, Adele. I can relate a little because I've been trying to. I'm not a hard worker, so that's the problem with me.
Wow.
But but sometimes I can get really hooked up to something. So if that happens, I can go to any extent to make it as perfect as possible.
Uh-huh.
I hope that happens more often with me and more often with all the video makers who are listening, and we can follow in your footsteps to become a better storyteller in videos and a better presenter as well.
You guys will be better than me very soon.
No, never. That's not gonna happen for sure. So I do dream, but even in dreams, I keep myself realistic. So that's not happening. Yeah. You're amazing. Stay amazing. Keep learning. Keep
True.
inspiring us. And I hope I meet you before I leave.
I know.
Yeah. I will make that happen. Okay. Okay.
Stay
Thank
safe. Enjoy the
you.
crazy time.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.